Hey, good evening, guys. And tonight we're going to talk about what do you do when your wife clearly came to the marriage, she came to the relationship with issues that have nothing to do with you. Very often it could be sexual abuse, it could be neglect. And quite typically, what she's going to see in her husband is going to be a reflection of her father, a reflection of her abuser, a reflection of that predator or the person that was responsible for the emotional pain that she's in. And a lot of husbands look at this and they're like, there's nothing I could do about it. It is beyond my control. I've done my best and I really can't do anything. So the first place you have to start really basic is to understand you're not the only one. You're not the first person, you're not the second or third person that has dealt with this situation. In one form or another, over 50% of marriages deal with that to varying degrees, but this issue is very common. Now, they might not be all as, very severe and full of a high level of sexual abuse and a tremendous amount of trauma, but in one way or another, a woman does come to the marriage with a certain form of baggage. Now, if she had two great loving parents who had a role model of a marriage and gave her unconditional love, then her issues will be very minimal. But if it's anything other than that, you are going to be dealing with issues that, so to speak, have nothing to do with you, but yet your wife will see you as the source of her problem. Now, so you first have to understand, now, like I said, you're not the only guy that dealt with it. And many hundreds of men have dealt with this successfully. And the first principle that they have used is what I talk about very often, and that is taking 100% responsibility or extreme ownership. And that's why we have the videos about marriage. It doesn't take two. It actually works much better with one. Now, what does it mean taking 100% responsibility? Some guys say, David, what do you mean? I'm taking responsibility for her issues? No, I'm not saying you're guilty and responsible for her issues and her phobias and her traumas. What I am saying is that you are responsible to be the best type of husband you can be, to step into your higher identity, into the man that God designed you to be, to tap into your deeper emotional, psychological, and spiritual strengths, and be the man and the healer that she needs. And the first part is by noticing that you have, if something is coming up in your life, if you have something that's disturbing you, and we're talking about here is your intimate relationship, that's something which is in your face, which is bothering you all the time. So the reason why it's happening is either one of two reasons, and it's usually a combination. You have something to do with it. There's something that you've caused over here. And if that's not true, if you have done nothing to cause the situation, then there's something you can do about it and heal it. And that's why God put it in front of you. When I say take 100% responsibility, it doesn't mean you're responsible for her behavior and for her emotions. What you are responsible for is that 5, 10, 20% that you can do differently in your attitudes and your emotions and your ability to heal the problem, to bring the best out of her and to heal the marriage. And sometimes it's going to be 1%. It's going to be a very minuscule point. It's going to be like 1 to 2% of a difference that you can make, very subtle. But once you make those changes, it turns around the marriage. This has happened over and over and over again. The problem is that a lot of guys fall into the trap of it's her issues. And when they go into the place of her issues, the problem just gets worse and worse and worse, because what you're doing at that point is you're going back to the mindset of, I'm not taking 100% responsibility for this marriage. She has to step up and do her part. And what you don't realize is that as a man who has that ability in you to be a leader, to be a spiritual leader, to provide that masculine energy and a healing energy in a loving way, if you direct that in a very focused and a strategic way. I'm not saying you just co-sign any lie she says and agree with all her accusations, but if you know how to pinpoint with accuracy her exact emotional needs, you will turn her around. What I have found to be a bigger factor in determining success was not in how much trauma she came, but primarily with what type of a man you are. How committed are you to liberating her from her hell, from her trauma, from her pain? How much are you committed to not confirming to her that her fears are correct? And we have a very specific formula. In the Amazing Marriage Fast Track, that's exactly what we show you, is exactly how to dial in the specific areas that you got to do different. Sometimes it's words, sometimes it's attitude, sometimes it's action, sometimes it's a certain letter that you're going to write to your wife. But it's something in your heart and your mind that you can do differently in every situation. Now, I've seen some guys who can't accept it, and in that case, I can't help you. But if you're the type of guy that understands that I want to take responsibility, I do want to take responsibility, I just need to know how to do it, I just need an actual plan, then book a call with me and my team, because that's what we're going to do. If you're the right type of guy and you fit into the program, we will take a look at your situation, and if you belong in this program, we will definitely invite you to join. And if not, we'll let you know that. But what I have found is that a lot of guys, this is the truth, and it's going to hurt some people, but this is the truth. A lot of guys will much rather be the victim, would much rather have the pity party. And a lot of these guys will hang around in multiple Facebook groups. And this can go on for years and decades, and they can live their entire life that way, where they just complain. And there's a certain comfort in complaining, because if you complain, if you blame, it feels, there's a certain self-righteousness in it. Like, I tried my best, I tried very hard, and it just, she's just not the right woman. She doesn't appreciate my love. She doesn't appreciate my sincerity. She doesn't see how much I'm doing. She just criticizes me all the time. And there's a certain amount of comfort in being morally superior. And it's more painful to step up and say, 1 second, if this is not working, what am I doing that's not working? What can I be doing differently? What can I be doing that will actually help me dial in my emotions? So what I found that what really matters over here, like I said, is not the degree of how much pain she comes to the marriage with, but what type of man you are. And really, it's not even so much about what type of person you are, it's more about what type of person you want to be. And that, I found that to be far more important. Far more important. If you have the desire to step into your higher identity and to get a psychological and emotional rewiring of your brain so you can intuitively know and say, wow, that's what she needs right now. Oh, I could pinpoint what her need is right now. What type of emotional safety, what type of appreciation, what exactly does she need me to do, listen, say, or feel for her? If you desire that, you have a much better chance at success than where you are right now, because your desire tells you, here's the interesting thing, when you have a desire, it's basically your soul, it's your soul's way, it's your spirit's way of saying that you have that energy in you. It's like somebody who has a passion, let's say, for music. But he doesn't know how to play music yet. He just likes music, but he's just really, really horrible on a keyboard. That passion for music is indicating that there's a musical energy in you and a talent in your soul, and you can, with the right help, with the right support, with the right trainer, you can develop that musical skill. And the same thing is when it comes to wanting and desiring to become emotionally intelligent and effective and really powerful, to be able to win back your wife and say, you know what, I'm going to peel through all this garbage. I'm going to peel through the trauma. I just need a plan how to do it. I'm going to look at the 1-2% of areas that I take responsibility for, how I made that trauma worse. I'm not taking 100% responsibility for her issues. I'm taking 100% responsibility for my 2%. Okay? Does that make sense? And this brings together that idea that I've been teaching you guys over and over again. It's about taking 100% responsibility and avoiding blame. And the moment you're in blame, you're up the creek, because there will never be a solution when you're in blame. And that's why marriage counseling doesn't work. One of the reasons why it doesn't work is because it always comes with the attitude of blame. Who said what? Who did what? Okay? But if you're the type of guy who wants to take responsibility and you're willing to put in the work, then absolutely book a call with me. Let's see if we can help you. Okay? Take care. All the best.